The latest in Godfrey We Trust episode gets at something a lot of people feel but don't always know how to say. Hollywood loves to celebrate diversity when the cameras are on. It loves big speeches, historic wins, emotional moments, applause. But the minute you look a little closer, you start seeing how shaky the whole thing still is. That's basically what Godfrey and his crew are reacting to here. They move from an Audrey Nuna red carpet clip to the Teyana Taylor incident and then into the bigger question of how Asian and Black people are treated in these prestige spaces.
It's the one where the reporter talks about the girls.
Watch this shit. Watch this shit.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Watch. I love this guy.
Culture. Our ancestors are possessing us on stage.
I'm just gonna single out one thing. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this in my life, but it looks like you could give somebody a massage, right?
What the? This is on the red carpet, this motherfucker.
Wow.
And this dude, like, let him play. Let it play. I like this guy.
What the fuck did you just say? And since Audrey here had to keep it professional, and that wasn't like a, oh, you had a fun take. That was a, oh, what the fuck did you just say to me? But the fact that you not only creepily grabbed Audrey's hand, while then immediately upon seeing an Asian woman over-sexualizing her and then making a mental association to a massage is a microaggression at best? Because this is the thing, Asian women are so over-sexualized that when the Atlanta shootings happened back in 2021, the media immediately just assumed that they were all sex workers without even looking into it or verifying any of it. Even though authorities came out of the gate immediately and stated that there was no indication that any sex work was happening at those locations, and even the mayor stated that those businesses had not been on any of their radars for doing anything illegal before. But the narrative prevailed in society and through the media because they just assumed the shooter sexualized them, so they must be. So as George Pinocchio or Pinocchio or whatever the fuck your name is, stay the fuck away from Asian women, you fucking creep.
Epic.
That dude breaks down shit.
But you know what's crazy too? Like, the fact that this, that they act like it's so easy to do and it's fine and nobody's pushing back on it. It's just
back.
It's just like crazy.
And then you got the reinforcement. It's like, oh, no. But
And what would a white dude say? And when he saw, how do you know he doesn't mean massage? Just because she had her nails had wheels on it or whatever.
And the more you look at it, the more the same idea keeps coming up. Success and disrespect are still living side by side. The Michael B. Jordan part is the clearest example of that. He just won Best Actor for Sinners, becoming only the 6th Black man to win that award, and the win was treated as a real landmark moment.
Whew, man, y'all. I stand here because of the people that came before me. Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, Jamie Foxx. Thank you, everybody in this room and everybody at home for supporting me over my career. I feel it. I know you guys want me to do well, and I want to do that because you guys bet on me.
It was his first Oscar. It came from his long partnership with Ryan Coogler, and it was one of those nights where Hollywood gets to tell itself a nice story about progress. But only a few weeks before that, Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on the BAFTA stage when an audience member audibly shouted the N-word, and the BBC still let it go out in the delayed broadcast. That sparked more than 1,500 complaints, another apology, and a whole lot of anger over how something that blatant was not caught before transmission. So in one moment, you have a Black actor being celebrated at the highest level, and in another, he's still not protected in one of the most high-profile rooms in the industry. That contrast is really what this Godfrey episode is about. A trophy does not automatically mean respect. A standing ovation does not mean the room is safe. And that's why this stuff hits differently when comedians talk about it. They're not just reading a press release and clapping because a barrier got broken. No. They're looking at the whole picture and saying, alright, But how are people still being treated once the shiny part is over? That's where the Teyana Taylor incident fits in.
Teyana Taylor, throw that one real quick before we wrap this up. Teyana Taylor, watch. You know, someone pushed her.
Oh, I heard about that.
I did see that. So that
I didn't see it. I heard
Harlem
about it.
came out of her too.
But she was still classy.
Watch, yeah.
Go backstage. Because he's putting his hands on the female. What are you doing? He literally shoved me. He wouldn't even hurt.
This white person's asking, what did he do?
You see how she's pulling her hand down? Like, just calm down, calm down. You're black and you're out of control.
So somebody has shoved her. She goes, you don't put your hands on me. What do you do? Like, and she goes, well, what? He just shoved me, bitch. A woman.
What did
and
he
another
do?
woman's
Well,
asking
calm
her.
down. Well, calm down.
Calm down.
White lady?
Of course. That's what.
Teyana Taylor, that Harlem came out of her too. Like, yo, fuck you doing? I smack the shit out you. Yo, fuck, don't get this fucking Oscar shit twisted. You feel me? Fuck a trophy, bitch.
And bitch, you better stay out of my face too.
Yeah, for real. Shit. Whose man's is this right here?
After the Oscars, Taylor was caught in a tense exchange with security after she was shoved. In the video, she's firm, direct, and upset. And later, she says she doesn't tolerate disrespect. The Academy later said it was extremely upset by how she was treated. What stands out is that this wasn't some wild outburst. It was a woman saying, in plain terms, don't put your hands on me. And that's where a lot of people watching these clips start noticing the same pattern. When a black woman stands up for herself, even in a controlled way, the pressure immediately shifts onto her tone, her volume, her reaction, whether she handled it well, whether she made it awkward. That is a very familiar move. The original disrespect starts fading into the background and the focus becomes how politely the victim responded to it. The Asian side of the conversation lands a little differently, but it connects to the same basic issue. In the episode, Godfrey and the crew react to the Audrey Nuna red carpet clip as an example of how Asian women are often talked to through weird assumptions, jokes, or comments that people later try to brush off as harmless. That is why these conversations get tricky. The black examples are often easier for people to recognize when they are blatant. With Asian women, it often shows up in smaller moments that many people still try to dismiss as not that deep. But those smaller moments add up, especially when they carry the same old stereotypes underneath them. And I think that's the part the episode is really trying to pull out. Discrimination in these spaces is not always going to look the same. Sometimes it's loud and undeniable, like a slur on stage. Sometimes it's physical, like somebody putting hands on the wrong person and then acting like the reaction is the problem. Sometimes it comes out as a joke, a comment, a tone, a little red carpet moment that can be explained away if you already don't want to see it. Different form, same feeling. What also makes this topic worth talking about right now is that Hollywood is in one of those periods where it wants credit for change.
My name is April Rain, and I am the creator of the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite. It is very premature to assume that because there have been quality performances, that those performances will actually result in Oscar wins. It really started out kind of slowly, and we've seen concrete changes happen not only within the Academy itself, which were much needed, but also in Hollywood. So with respect to individual studios making significant changes in how they search for filmmakers, both actors and actresses and those behind the camera. And we've heard from Academy officials who have specifically specifically referenced Oscar So White.
Jordan's Oscar matters. The visibility matters. The fact that these conversations are happening publicly matters. But that progress is still running into old habits, old power dynamics, and old blind spots. That's why Godfrey's crew sound a bit irritated and a bit tired when they get into these topics. They're not shocked that these things happened. That's the sad part. They're more reacting to how often prestige spaces still fail basic tests of respect. You can put somebody in a designer suit, invite them to a massive event, nominate them, award them, seat them in the best roles, and still have them dealing with nonsense that should have been dead years ago.
Coogler, Marvel, over the top. Saudi Arabia opened up, it was the first American movie they allowed, was Black Panther. What the fuck are we talking about here? Like every movie he does.
Yeah.
And it's not, and he's just getting started. Jordan Peele didn't get Best Director. They call this shit a comedy. He should have gotten Best Director for that.
For Get Out?
Yeah, they gave him the little fucking, what?
Yeah, take this.
Script shit.
Has any, what black director got
None.
Zero?
None.
Damn.
Like, it's going to be if it happens, we'll be in first. You should be ashamed of yourself that it's still the first. You should be ashamed of yourself. When I made that video about should we show up to these events if they don't want us? Why are we there to go? We got to come and watch ourselves get snubbed and disappointed. It's like there's this imaginary competition happening in white people's heads against us.
And there's another layer to this that makes this episode hit. A lot of these events still expect people of color to manage the discomfort for everyone else. Be talented, but also easy. Be successful, but also calm. Be disrespected, but don't make it too public. Be proud, but don't make white people in a room nervous. That pressure doesn't always get said out loud, but you can feel it in how people react after the fact. So the real point here isn't just Hollywood is racist, or the Oscars have a problem. It's more specific than that. The problem is that recognition has moved faster than respect. The optics are improving faster than the treatment. The industry is getting better at celebrating people of color than it is at protecting them or understanding them in real time. That is why the latest in Godfrey We Trust episode works. It doesn't treat this like some grand solved issue. It treats it like what it is. A bunch of ugly reminders that the room can still clap for you and disrespect you in the same season. And once you see that clearly, the Oscar speeches start sounding a little less complete.